Hey everyone, it's Amy Yamada here, and I'm just going to give everyone a minute or so to jump on. And I am live from Kona Kai Resort on Shelter Island in San Diego. And normally when I'm traveling, I don't do a chat with Amy, although I should change that because it's so fun to be on location at all these amazing places that I visit for various reasons. And so I thought, why not? What you're seeing behind me is actually the reflection of what I'm looking at, which is the marina and this beautiful resort. And I came here straight from Colorado Springs. So I was in Colorado Springs last week for Reach Live, which was a really great event put on by Advance Your Reach with Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn and his incredible team. And then I flew from there to San Diego to help out with a mastermind that I was a part of in 2014. Shanda Sumter runs a great program called Pace Club, and I've been supporting and speaking and helping out with her clients as well. And so it's just been an incredible week to connect with entrepreneurs from all over the world, and also just have my own growth experience throughout this trip. And at Reach Live, I know some of you saw on my Facebook page and last week that I was a part of the Speak Off, which was a 3-minute talk in front of 10 judges, where 40 of us were participants in this contest, and then 10 of us, and I'm grateful to say that I was one of them, were selected to be finalists, where we spoke in front of several hundred entrepreneurs and event producers from around the country. So there were event producers right there at the event, and then we also had virtual event producers that were judging us. And while I didn't win this contest, it was amazing to be one of the top 10 finalists and to have that exposure in front of tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and event producers, because they live streamed it from the event, was just incredible. So being here has been such, like being in Colorado and being in San Diego and being around all these inspiring entrepreneurs has been such a great experience, and it's something I believe so much in. For those of you who are connected with me, you know that I do travel a lot, and oftentimes it is tied in with entrepreneurial masterminds and events. And the reason why I do this is that it gives me the chance to be in environments where I can thrive and learn and grow, and also practice generosity and give back and connect with people. I mean, even here in San Diego, I was happy just to fly down and help out my dear friend and mentor, Shanda Sumter, with her group of entrepreneurs. And it was just such a rewarding experience to connect with these entrepreneurs, some of whom are within their first 1 to 2 to 3 years of entrepreneurship. And they're really at that exciting, jumping off point. Like, they've had an incredible year, and now they're ready to take it to the next level. And so being able to speak in front of that group and help them out with their plans for next year was really fantastic. So I thought I would really use this trip to create an awesome message for today's Chat with Amy. So for those of you who are just joining me for the first time, I do this Chat with Amy show every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Usually I don't if I'm traveling, but I made the exception today because I thought there's just so much juicy goodness that I wanted to share with you. Hey Jess. And so if you're joining me, I would love for you to say hello and say where you're from. And also if you have any questions, you might hear a helicopter going over right now. I'm kind of in an area that sometimes has noise, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So I thought I would really use this opportunity to share with you the secrets of a 7-figure entrepreneur, and even 8-figure entrepreneur, of which I am not, but being surrounded by amazing entrepreneurs that have really broken through that 7-figure mark and 8-figure mark has been such a game changer for me. And I've met some of these entrepreneurs over the last few years, and I had the opportunity to have dinner with Jesse Itzler and Pete Vargas and Taki Moore and a group of entrepreneurs that were in Colorado Springs, and then of course flying here and just spending time with Shanda Sumter has been great. And so I always want to pass along just the juicy goodness that I hear from these wildly successful, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, because then we can all be in this together and we can all have our own breakthroughs in our mindset. So I have my little journal here in front of me, and some of the biggest themes and takeaways that I wanted to share with you could apply to in your own business and or even in your life. So I was talking to Jesse Itzler the other day, and for those of you who don't know Jesse, he's the author of Living with a Seal, and he has been a serial entrepreneur. He He launched and then sold Marquis Jets to Warren Buffett, and that was like a really big breakthrough for him. He also bought and sold Zico coconut water. He bought it when it was, a decent sized business, and then he sold it to Coca-Cola. He was also a rapper back in the 90s. He's just got this great personality, and I got the chance to meet him through Shanda. And so I was talking to him, and I said, I'm shifting gears going into next year in terms of I have these new premium offerings in my coaching business that I can't even tell you how excited I am. And at the same time, it's shifting from my comfort zone of what I've been doing the last handful of years with my group programs and working with entrepreneurs in that capacity. And then I'm shifting to these high-end retreats and masterminds and really taking things to a whole new level, which quite honestly is a stretch for me. It's out of my comfort zone. And at the same time, it's so in alignment with where I want to go and alignment with me. And because what I've been missing is the in-person experience. Another reason why I love being with people at these masterminds. So I thought, why not create my own where I do more in-person experiences where we all fly in from different places and stay at beautiful places together to mastermind, to connect, to collaborate, to lift each other up, and also, of course, continue to train people in my area of expertise with deep connection marketing, messaging, and heart-centered sales conversations, and really creating the message that's going to make the change you want to make in this world. So all that being said, I was talking to Jesse and I said, okay, I'm shifting gears and it's exciting and it's a stretch, and I just want to know, whenever you have either bought and sold, sold and bought a company, or started a new endeavor, or shifted gears, or tweaked your business plan going into a new year, how have you managed your mindset if there was ever, stress or just like, oh my gosh, who am I to think I could do this? And he said 3 things to me, and I put them in my journal here. Number 1 is to embrace the process. Embrace the process. And I thought about this because in my leadership training, we always talk about trust the process, but I even love this embrace the process more, because it's in that stretch, it's in that growth that we get to really learn and grow and experience life's lessons. And if we don't embrace it, then we can put up walls and make up stories about why we think we can't do something. So that first one is embrace the process. The second thing he said to me was just start. If you've got this big mountain that you're going to climb or this big shift you're going to make, it starts with one step or one task or one phone call. And so instead of thinking I've got to do everything all at once, he's like, just start. And then I thought, just start again. Every day is a new opportunity to just start again. So I just love that as well. And finally, he said to hire your weaknesses or hire a mentor. So when I thought about my weaknesses, I'm okay with technology, but let's be real, I'm not a tech savvy person. I'm not really into technology as far as being in the nitty-gritty of it, which is why I already do hire out those tasks that are not my skill set. I'd rather hire the best people for that instead of spending all this time in there trying to figure it out on my own. And as I grow my business, I'm going to be adding team members to it, which is really exciting, also a stretch. But if there's areas in your business that are giving you pain, then make a list of what could be an opportunity for someone. Be generous enough to think about what would be an opportunity for someone to grow alongside you, and it could be a really powerful experience. The other thing that I wrote down, so I was talking to Taki Moore. I don't know if any of you know who Taki Moore is, but he's also just an incredible person, incredible entrepreneur. I believe he has 6 children, married with 6 kids, and he travels all around the world with his family and does all these amazing adventures. And he's known as the $1 Million Coach, and he's been doing it for a number of years. And so he was at the Reach Live experience, and then we had dinner together with this group, and he was talking about just how he runs his business and how he always thinks about your core values first. And then when he got into more of the tactics of growing your business, we were talking about sales, because sales is a part of business, and it's an area that I think a lot of people stress out about, or they stress about it until they feel masterful at their own sales enrollment conversations or training somebody else to do it. And what I love about Taki is that instead of calling it a sales call, he calls it a fit call. A fit call. Is somebody the right fit? Am I the right fit for you? Are you the right fit for me? It doesn't have to be this weird salesy, manipulative, pushy, convincing call. And so he talked about really identifying your best client. Who is your best, not just an ideal client, who's your best client? This is something I teach my clients as well. Who is your most ideal client, your best client? What is the criteria that your best client has? So it's not just about you or me selling our services or our coaching or our programs to our clients or our products, whatever it is that you sell, but it's really determining, are we the right fit for one another? And so the way he looks at it as using this, fit call, is to audition your future clients. And it's just a shift, because I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we think we have to sell ourselves and sell our offerings and sell, instead of thinking about, you know what, I have worked so hard, you have worked so hard, hopefully, to create something to make a difference for people. And if you feel like somebody's in front of you who's not going to really be present and take it and run with it and be all in, then why do you want them as a client? And I say this lovingly, because I definitely stood in the fire with a lot of my clients. I will continue to stand in the fire. And at the same time, I'm so committed to auditioning my future clients and saying, look, this isn't for everybody. My premium powerhouse retreats, for example, which I'm so excited for the women who are, this particular one is for women, but I work with men as well. But I'm doing this powerhouse retreat for powerhouse women entrepreneurs. It's happening in February on Captiva Island in Florida. We're doing mastermind calls leading up to it for breakthroughs in your message and your sales. And I don't want just anyone to come to this retreat. What I want is to really connect with purpose-driven women entrepreneurs who are so ready. Like, they're just like, 2018 is my year. I'm so ready and I'm committed. I'm going to show up. Whether they've shown up in past programs or not, they're just like, this is it. I'm ready to go. And I want to feel that passion from them, that they're not only going to be a part of it, but they're actually going to contribute to the group that I'm bringing together, even both virtually and then in person. And so, again, bringing it back to what Taki was talking about in terms of auditioning your clients, auditioning them, and not just trying to sell them on something. I just think that's super powerful. And it also helps those of us as entrepreneurs to really stand in our power and believe in, on a deep level, and valuing what it is that we've created and all the years and all the investments and time that we have spent in creating these things. I just think it's really important to do that. Hi, Olga. I know I didn't really promote this chat with Amy, so I don't have a small audience, but I know that when I replay this, there'll be others who will watch this. So thank you for joining me live. Jess, I see that you say, love that fit call. It takes the pressure off a little bit too. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The other thing I was gonna say on that is, okay, I lost my train of thought for a second. When we're on calls with people, like new people, I always think about making a difference for them no matter what. That's my whole strong stance on connection, is that no matter what, when we're connecting with new people, even if they're not the right fit, I always think, why not be generous and give anyway? And so I like to call it a make a difference call. So no matter what, I like the fit call because we can determine if we're a right fit for one another. And I also like calling it a make a difference call, so that no matter what, we're committed to making a difference for others on these calls. And then of course, with Shanda, my beloved mentor, two of the things I wanted to share with you in sharing the secrets of 7-figure entrepreneurs, or multiple 7 or 8-figure when it comes to Jessie. Number one, practice generosity. Generosity is at the core of what she teaches. It's at the core of what I teach. I really believe that when we're stuck, when we're all up in our heads about being stressed or overwhelmed, even though I don't believe in that word, it's just when you get stuck, it seems like the only thing you should do is put your head down, get back to work, or reset, refocus, and all of that. And what I've realized is that if I'm in that space, or if my clients are in that space, it's because they're so focused on themselves only and not focusing out. So instead of just focusing in and on your own stuff, if you just look up and look around you and see someone who needs help, and you help them and you practice generosity, it shifts your entire being, your entire energy, and it just, it shifts something to where you can then focus on your own business again in that spirit of generosity and spirit of making a difference, in that spirit of giving, and know that it's not just about making money and having a business, right? It's about being in service to others. And then finally, one of my favorite stories from Shanda, which I've reflected back to her a couple times over the years, is when I was in one of her endurance training programs. For a few years, she ran an endurance training program to coincide with her business coaching business. And then I also did this endurance challenge this year with Jessie Itzler. But my point is, we were all training for a half marathon, and she had a couple of bulging discs in her back, which I've never experienced, but I've heard it's one of the most painful things you can have. And I had also had a recent injury. This is back in 2015. And I was so down on myself at the time because I'd been training for this half marathon, and then I injured myself, and I was going through some things in my personal life. And I was listening in on a call that she was leading in this endurance training, and she said, you know, I have this bulging disc, and I have all these doctors telling me, sorry, if I hear these seagulls everywhere. She was like, all these doctors are telling me that I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't train, I shouldn't work out, but she's like, I'm gonna look for the doctor who says that I can and find a way to do it. And she, of course, she was being safe about it. But the quote that really stuck with me and that I use now as one of my mottos, especially if I'm in a time when I'm feeling a little bit stressed, or, you know, at that time when I had an injury, she said this: I cannot wait to see what my success story will be. I cannot wait to see what my success story will be. And I thought, wow, here she is in so much physical pain, and she's still committed to her vision of crossing the finish line. And she cannot wait to see what her success story will be. And so she's already thinking that far ahead, and is so committed to being successful in her vision that this injury and this pain is not going to stop her. And that's such an analogy to me in life and in entrepreneurship, is that, you know, at the beginning people say that they're committed, right? Oh yeah, I'm committed to this, I'm going to make this happen. And then as soon as life happens, then they're no longer committed. So it's almost like saying, I'm committed until, you know, instead of saying, I'm committed 100%. And that might seem kind of hardcore for people, or too harsh, or like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I certainly can relate. I've had things happen in my life that I've allowed it to take me off track. I also still believe in taking time to process through whatever my emotions are, or you know, recovering from something, but then recovering and getting back up again and still being committed to the vision, if that makes sense. So Jess says, love that. You're literally speaking directly to me now, like you always do. Oh, awesome, Jess. Olga says, hi. Awesome. So yeah, so I just wanted to share these really wonderful lessons and messages from these 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs. I find myself so inspired by them, and one of the things I continue to recognize is that it's not about the 7 and 8 figures that I'm so inspired by. It's about the people they become in the process of breaking through those limiting beliefs. It's about the mindset, it's about the generosity, it's about the fact that, you know, who really needs all that money? It's not really about that. I mean, that's great. And at the same time, there's a different mindset when I'm surrounded by these purpose-driven entrepreneurs who just don't even think about limitations anymore, you know. And it's not that they don't have their own stuff that comes up when they're launching their new products or programs. I mean, I was really blown away this year when I was talking to Jesse Itzler about his first time event that he was hosting, like a speaking event he was hosting. And even though he'd been a speaker on other people's stages, it was the first time he was the host of an event. And this was back in, I think October. I can't remember. I think it was in October. And I was talking to him about his event, thinking, you know, here he is, serial entrepreneur, 8-figure earner, married to Sarah Blakely, another 8-figure earner, founder of Spanx. And he was sharing that, he was like, you know, I'm no different from you guys. He goes, I have this new event that I'm hosting, and I'm scared about, like, what if I don't fill all the seats? What I don't, you know, or sell enough tickets? What if people don't feel the value of the event? What if this? What if that? What if it's a complete flop? So the same things come up for him as they do for a lot of us when we're offering something new and launching a new product or a service or a retreat. And so it was just really refreshing to hear him talk about that. And his mindset, it's all the mindset. His mindset is, it's not going to stop me from doing it. And if I fail, I'm going to get back up. And I'm going to shift, and I'm going to find what does work, and I'm going to listen to feedback, and I'm going to show up no matter what. You know, showing up is half of it. So yeah, so I just want to see like what your thoughts are. If you're just joining, I know that I'd love to see who's on live, and if you could say hello, I'd love to say hello back to you. And if you have any questions on business, I always like to use this opportunity to answer your questions on business. I'm here for the next couple of days working on my business, and I'm going to be staying with a dear friend of mine, Cindy Olin, because she and I sometimes like to mastermind together and work on our businesses. And yeah, I'm just really, really happy to be here. The other thing that I'll share, and this is more on just on a really heart-centered note. Olga, I know you're watching right now, and you were the one who called me yesterday to share this with me. But I wanted to just send some love and prayers and thoughts to one of my former clients, a beloved friend, who I learned passed away this week, and her name is Rhonda. And I know that her husband and her 2 kids are just, in this place right now. I wanted to bring her up because Rhonda was someone who always had a smile on her face, very loving, and yesterday would have been her 51st birthday. And so to me, it's just shocking how young she was, and how we don't know how long we have on this planet. We just don't know how long we have. And Rhonda, like, when I think about Rhonda, I think about how I first met her. And I posted this on my personal page, so some of you may have seen it. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Michelle. And so years ago, I want to say it was like 2012, 2013. I'm not sure. It's kind of a blur about when I met Rhonda. But I attended this event in Washington. So, as you know, I live in the Seattle area. And I was at this event at a place called Soul Food Books. My friend Devaney invited me to this event. And there was a speaker there. I'm totally blanking on her name right now, a speaker author. And she was an intuitive and super inspiring. And she had us partner up with somebody in the room that we didn't know, but not just anyone. She said, I want you to stand up, and before you just run up to somebody to partner with them, I want you to actually allow yourself to feel an energetic connection with someone and then walk up to them. And so it would have been easy for me to go to Devaney or someone that looked like they were, just like me, but I saw Rhonda kind of from the side, and she just looked like a lovely person. And I thought, yeah, I feel an energetic connection to her. And I remember what she was wearing. Like, she was wearing this red top and a black skirt, and I just walked up to her. She had a really warm smile, and I was like, hi, I'm Amy, and she said her name is Rhonda. And then the speaker had us face each other without words. She said, face each other, and then during she was playing this beautiful song, and the first half of the song, it was for person A to send loving energy to person B. Like, the first half of the song, person A just sent loving energy to person B, and person B was just there to receive that energy. So through your body language, through your eyes, through just your heart and your energy. And then halfway through the song, we switched it. And so during the first half of the song, she was sending loving energy to me. And they said you might giggle, or you might feel uncomfortable, you might this, you might that, but just allow yourself to receive. And in this experience, Rhonda's energy to me was so powerful. It felt very nurturing and loving, and I just was in tears. I mean, I couldn't stop. I was kind of embarrassed. I just met her, and I'm at this event, and then halfway through the song, we shifted, and then I was sending her loving energy, which felt easier for me. Sometimes I think some of us have a hard time receiving that much love and energy and adoration, all that. And it was so beautiful because I just met her, and then we sat down and we got to know each other, and my experience of her in that moment was I literally felt my mom's presence there, even though my mom passed away almost 7 years ago. And so it was even prior to that meeting, and I just felt that nurturing feeling from her. And as it turns out, Rhonda was a mom herself. She was a teacher, which my mom was a teacher, and Rhonda's last name is Parent. Like, it couldn't have been more perfect for me to connect with Rhonda in that moment and feel a loving feeling that I was missing from my mom. And so we just had this really special friendship from that day forward. And even though she wasn't someone I saw all the time, we would just connect here and there. And then she actually one year enrolled in my year-long program, so I actually got to mentor her in her business. She was a representative of Cabby, and she also did these art classes. And so she's just a really special person. And then when Olga, I know you're watching right now, shared with me yesterday, and then I went over to Rhonda's Facebook page and saw all these beautiful posts about people and their memories with her, it just made me like really stop and think about my life and think about how, every single day is a chance to embrace the presence, embrace wherever you are, and make a difference today, and not wait and put off your dreams until tomorrow, and not think about, oh, I'll do that when blank, you know what I mean? And And I'm really grateful to have had Rhonda as a part of my journey, my life, and I got to be a part of hers. And 50 years old is just so young. So I just want to send loving energy to her and her family, and I'm just grateful to have had her in my journey. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Michelle, okay, hi Michelle, she said that's how I felt the zone. Sonia, yeah, so thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this has been helpful. If you just joined me towards the latter half, I encourage you and invite you to watch this from the beginning, because I shared some really great messages that I got from the entrepreneurs that I really have enjoyed spending time with this past week, with Jesse Itzler, Taki Moore. Pete Vargas is another one. Of course, you've heard me talking about him lately. I mean, what a powerful person. He's all about having that big, hairy, audacious goal, of empowering entrepreneurs to be on a million stages in the next 10 years. So that's another bonus tip, if you will, in terms of really having a big vision for yourself. And of course, Shanda Sufter, who I've gotten the chance to spend time with here in San Diego. So on that note, I'm sending you all so much love, and just remember that every day is an opportunity to make a difference, to show up, to be a loving person, to connect with people, to tell someone that you haven't told in a while that you love them. Pete Vargas said the other day, a quote from, I'm not sure who, but he said that there are probably 5 people in your life right now that you love, that you haven't shared with them how you feel about them. And so why not call those 5 people today? And maybe with 1 or 2 of them, you have some clearing to do with them. So again, just being around this energy is so powerful. It's way beyond business. It's about love and kindness and compassion. So just let's make today count. And if this has inspired you, I invite you to share it and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Sending much love from San Diego. Mwah. Bye.